Hello, this is Zayami from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the Assistant Director of the Oregon Documentary Film Festival. We're gearing up for our spring 2023 season, which is going to be this Sunday, March 12th, at the Clinton Street Theater in Portland, Oregon. I'm very excited for that. And today we are talking to one of the contributing filmmakers, Curran Ferrey, director of The Road to Milan. Thank you so much for chatting with me today, Curran.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sayami. This is awesome. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Well, let's jump right in. What inspired you to make The Road to Milan?
Good question. Yeah, I think there were a lot of things, right, that my team and I saw in the material and in the subject. So the subject of this series, um, woman in a very male-centric, male-dominated space, very beloved by her industry, and also has this history of kind of coming very, very close to achieving her goal year after year after year, but for a period of time isn't quite able to do that. A lot of things, like a lot of those types of ingredients that you look for in stories that make them naturally compelling, um, that we were drawn to. We had been working in the specialty coffee and coffee competition space for years before kicking off this project, and had watched Andrea compete and do her thing, and it just felt like a real cool story to be able to make, be able to tell, with a lot of good ingredients. So
Absolutely, yeah, no, it's a naturally inspiring and compelling story. You said that you've been around this scene for a long time, documenting championships and documenting barista work, or are you in the industry yourself?
not in the industry, but exactly the former. We've done a lot of coverage, different nonfiction, different commercial stuff in and around specialty coffee, and specifically this barista competition, which is super niche, but also super, super cool and incredible to see. And not a lot of people have heard that this is a thing. So it's always really fun to be able to share that and talk to people about it.
Totally, I feel like I've only come to be aware of it in like the last year or two, and it's super fascinating. And potentially, your content has led to that rise in awareness, which is great.
Oh, glad to
Um,
hear it.
I mean, so you have a lot of experience in this field. I'm wondering though, was there anything, any new challenges, anything technical or even emotional that came from documenting a subject so closely in this line?
It's a great question. I think one of the things that you don't always get on nonfiction projects or documentary projects, some of them have this and some of them don't, is the element of a story playing out in real time. I think one of the really popular styles of documentary filmmaking these days is stories that are told retroactively, um, which we've made and I love to watch. This is one of the ones that, as you're shooting, the story is playing out. Um, I don't know if I necessarily learned anything new, but that challenge is a real reminder of the patience that is required and the ability to be flexible, and kind of re-script things as you go over the course of 6 months or a year or something like that. And I think it's quite a validating, or maybe not validating, but engaging process to feel like you are in it with the characters. Super fulfilling as a filmmaker, I think, to be able to have that opportunity, because not every project presents that opportunity to let the story play out as you're shooting it, as you're filming it.
Totally, and that's a very interesting aspect that I think audiences aren't really aware of. Is that in fact, in documentaries like this, you are in the story. The filmmaker is going through all these things. It's not just a retelling. You're there. You're rolling with the punches. The emotional intensity that the character is going through, the subject, you're right there with them. Uh,
Yeah, I've got this one distinct memory, from something that plays out in the third episode of this series. I remember that I was behind the camera. It was quite shaky, not because we were going for any sort of handheld aesthetic or anything like that, but my body was just trembling with the nerves of the moment. I remember I couldn't get the focus and I couldn't keep the camera straight because my whole body was in it. So moments like that are pretty cool. Yeah.
I love that. That's sort of the technical side of things that you don't expect is when you're documenting something and you're so emotionally invested that your body is reacting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Is there any other stories that you have from it? You know, you made 3 episodes. That's a lot of content. You've been through this challenge with Andrea. Is there any stories from on set or anything memorable that comes to mind that you'd like to share?
Oh, I mean, I feel very lucky to have tasted, what is considered by many to be like the best coffee in the world, or some of the best coffee in the world. That's a pretty cool thing. Um, I was raised on the East Coast, so like Dunkin' Donuts is the stuff that I grew up on. So to be able to go there and taste these incredible coffees that have been sourced from all over, and prepared with such craft and such mastery is like icing on the cake, for sure.
Well, it's definitely you get that desire for coffee while you're watching it, and
Yeah.
I think I see now there's the sort of the dual motive why people make documentaries about food creators and
Mm,
coffee creators. We have one in the festival about this mom and pop ice cream shop. Okay,
mhm.
I see why they're doing it,
Yeah.
but
There's perks.
so I want to know what other stuff are you working on? You have 3 episodes. Are you going to continue with Road to Milan? Do you have any other documentaries in the works?
Yeah. Oh, there's stuff going on all the time. Nothing in specialty coffee at the moment, but I can say, I guess, some things about some projects, with some my creative partner. His name is Nils Clausen, intimately involved in this project, and a colleague producer of ours named Jasmine Spencer. We've been working for some time now on a similar format mini series, doc series, that looks at the experience of women of color that play, specifically Black women that play soccer in the U.S., and what their journeys have been like, what their experiences have been like. Hoping to get that out to the world and find a home for it soon. But that's something else that we're working on at the moment.
Awesome. Well, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah,
Similar story of motivation and inspiration. Is
yeah.
there anything else you'd like to add about the road to Milan?
I hope folks enjoy it. We're really honored to be there. Honored to have all 3 episodes screening. That's quite a bit of runtime. So we are very grateful and hope folks enjoy it. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for talking with me, Curran. I'm excited to put this on. Portland's a big coffee city.
Yeah.
People are going to be, anxious in their seat to go grab the nearest latte they can to just try and fill that hole. But nothing comes close to what Andrea's doing. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the festival.
Thank you, Zami. Likewise.